Please subscribe to my channel to help me grow. The moment I saw the photo, my breath stopped as if the ocean itself had clenched its fist around my lungs. There she was, my wife, leaning against the cruise ship's railing under sunset light that turned everything gold except my heart. And beside her was him. His hand brushed her waist like it belonged there. Her smile, soft and intimate, was a smile I hadn't seen in months. A smile she had sworn she'd simply been too tired to feel. I stared at the screen until the image blurred. My pulse thudded in my ears. I felt heat, cold, disbelief, fury, nausea. All of it twisted into a single, suffocating knot. I had booked this cruise to save us. She had convinced me she needed a few days alone to breathe and that she'd use the time to reflect on our marriage. But a friend had recognized her on the ship. And he had recognized the man with her. I paced my hotel room overlooking the port, my hands shaking as I replayed every moment from the last month. The late-night phone calls she took in the hallway for better reception. The sudden gym obsession. The new perfume she claimed she'd just grabbed because it was on sale. The distance in her eyes. The coldness in her touch. I told myself I was imagining things. That love could blind me, but it couldn't betray me. The truth was already betraying me. I booked a flight, boarded the ship the next morning, and walked its polished halls like a ghost with a singular purpose. I didn't approach her. Not yet. I needed the truth. I needed to see it with my own eyes, because some part of me still whispered maybe. Maybe she wasn't smiling the way it looked. Maybe the angle was misleading. Maybe I wasn't enough, and this was punishment. I hated myself for that last thought. But it came anyway. Hours passed as I tracked them through the decks. They moved with the ease of people who had slipped out of guilt long ago. She laughed loudly with him. She leaned into him. She reached for his arm when the ship swayed. Every gesture stabbed deeper. But it wasn't until I saw them step into a cabin together, his hand sliding comfortably over her back, that the final shard of hope inside me shattered. I didn't storm in. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. Instead, I wrote a note. A simple note. A devastating one. I slid it under their door with methodical calm, even though my body trembled like a storm. The note read, "Enjoy your last night together. When this trip ends, so does the marriage." I walked away before I could second-guess myself, before love could convince me to crawl back to her, before denial could whisper that broken trust was still fixable. Minutes later, I heard the door fling open. Her voice called my name down the hallway, breathless, panicked, cracking open with guilt. She ran after me barefoot, mascara-streaked, wearing the robe from their room. The man stood in the doorway behind her, frozen in shame. "Please," she cried, reaching for my arm. "It wasn't supposed to go this far. I didn't mean for you to find out. I felt invisible. I felt alone. I made a mistake. Please, let me explain." Her excuses spun through the corridor like broken glass floating in light. Part of me wanted to listen. Part of me still loved the woman begging in front of me. But love without trust becomes a prison. And I was done serving her sentence. "I'm not ending this because you cheated," I said quietly. "I'm ending it because you chose him while expecting me to keep choosing you." She sank to the floor in tears as passengers pretended not to stare. I walked away with my chest heavy but my spine straight. Painful as it was, the decision was final. The story was complete. The aftermath was real. And for the first time in a long time, I felt free.